Well, good afternoon, YouTubers. And again, it's another fantastic sunny blue sky winter's day. So, too good an opportunity to miss. Get the Z out again. It's I've been having a bit of trouble with the, well, not trouble, but a little bit of an issue with the higher or sort of cruise speed running. It seems to have a bit of a tendency to sort of surge. So while I had some tinker time this morning, done a couple of other little jobs. Just made the side stand slightly longer so the old girl doesn't lean over quite so far on the stand. A, it makes it easier for me to pick the thing up and get sat on it, and B, it just makes it look a bit more stable. It was leaning over so far, it almost looked like it was going to go sort of over centre and fall over. So got that done this morning. It's amazing what you can do with an hour and a welder. And while I was there, I just lifted the tank a wee bit and opened up the mixture screws a bit. Just give them another half a turn, just to see if that'll lift the mixture just enough to stop this sort of surging at sort of 70 mile an hour on the dual carriageway. So while the weather's good, and I got no ties this afternoon, I'm popping out to the 303 just so I can get a bit of dual carriageway time and see if we've managed to improve this sort of cruise, sort of constant throttle surging. See how we get on. And anyway, you don't really need an excuse to go out today. It's not too cold and it's nice and sunny. The only thing that's a bit of a pain on this bike, the mixture screws on the carburettors, you get to them from the top and they're right at the front of the carb, and they're basically impossible to get to with the tank on. So it's going to be a suck it and see how we get on, and if it's no good, I'll have to retire back home to open up the screws a bit more if I need to. Also, although I've opened the mixture screws up only half a turn, of the lower speed running, I've already noticed the difference. It's definitely more responsive. So let's hope that it makes the difference. Or I can go up another sort of half a turn. If it goes much more than that, then we're going to be looking at slightly larger pilot jets, I think. See if we can get that right first before we then start fiddling with the main jet, or raising the needles if we have to. But hopefully it won't go that far. I mean, the bike's in pretty much standard trim, running the standard airbox, standard filter, and it's just that Delcovic 4-1, which, you know, might lean the mixture off, or sometimes they can have the opposite effect. You know, as you get higher up the rev range, they become, because it's only a, you know, it's got a very slim silencer on it, it can actually restrict it and make the mixture richer. But the bike definitely feels different. It's smoother, pulling better. Which has got to be good. just coming up into Shaftesbury now, North Dorset market town. I don't think I'll be able to get the view, but the view over that way is towards Gillingham is fantastic, but we're looking into the sun, so we're not going to pick it up today. So as it's such a nice day, and I think we'll get some fantastic views, we'll head up on the top of the downs, do a bit of a loop on the way home, see what we can see. Looking north from the sort of South Downs here. And it means we get to ride up Zigzag Hill, which is always good. So this is the turning down that takes us up Zigzag Hill, up onto the top of the downs. And if you live in the area and you've never ridden Zigzag Hill, it's worth making the detour, as you'll see in a minute. So it basically takes us up through those woods you can see in the distance up on the downs there, and as the name kind of implies, Zigzag Hill, it's a series of switchbacks. I mean, we're not talking, you know, Italian Alps kind of style, but it's about as good as you get in North Dorset. But if you're heading down towards Blandford from, you know, somewhere in the north of the county or something like that, then it's worth making the detour just to whiz up Zigzag Hill. The speed limit runs out in a second, so it'll get a bit more spirited, and here we go. Zigzag Hill, and that's what it brings you up on top of. Well, there she is. She's really coming together now. Yeah. Stands up. That hill over there where the copse of trees are in the distance, if you can see it, is Wingreen Hill, which is the highest point pretty much for quite a long way around, as you can see. Glorious day. And that's us. This little village here is called Anstey, and it's quite close to the Wiltshire-Dorset border. Famous for a few things: pond, maypole, which used to be a lot taller until unfortunately one winter it rotted at the bottom, strong wind, and it fell over and hit that house. So now they've had to cut the top of the pole so that it can't fall on any of the surrounding houses. But it used to be the tallest maypole in England, but not anymore. And the other thing this village is famous for is James May lives here, just here. Don't think he's home at the moment. Maybe he's filming another episode of Grand Tour. I hope so. That's quite funny. So we do see him about the village, you know, around here in Tisbury and where I live, fairly regularly. Seen him down at the, the Maypole celebrations on the 1st of May. Seen him at the local co-op in his Ferrari, parked outside the co-op, which someone reversed into. We didn't laugh too much. Seen him in his beach buggy. Waved to him a couple of times when I've seen him out on his bike, and I've been, out on mine. Obviously, he hasn't got a clue who I am, but hey, I've waved to James May, and he waved back. That wasn't on this bike. That was on my Royal Enfield Himalayan. He probably wouldn't like this bike. It's too raucous and noisy and stuff. But it is Japanese, and he's quite partial, I think, to Japan after seeing James May in Japan, which, if you haven't watched it, is really good. Definitely worth watching. If nothing else, for the little tour guide robot, which is in episode 5 or 6, you've got to watch that bit. Hey Bim, guess what? That's a spoiler, but it's definitely worth watching. Really funny.